What's up, everybody, and welcome to a very special On the Runs and Cultra Trail Running Podcast collab episode. This is really like episode, I think it was 213 or was it 313? Something like that, of the Cultra Trail Running Podcast that we recorded last week with Art, Celeste, and some of the other wicked awesome Cultra Pod fam. Just after remember the Hamster Wheel Ultra Marathon that Erica did another 100 miles at. Everyone, we had a big presence there in New Boston. On the runs presence, we had a big Culture Trail running presence. It was super cool. We finally got to meet Art. That was awesome. Got to talk a lot with Art. I only talked to him when he was standing straight. Eventually, he was at like 70 degrees to his right the entire time. But it was great meeting those guys. And we decided, Art was like, yo, let's all talk about this and record it. And so we did so on their platform. It was a lot of fun. Art was able to schedule other runners from Hamster Wheel who came on to share their experience of the Hamster Wheel Ultra Marathon. Erica, by the way, she is a podcast natural. She fits right in with anyone on a podcast, as we all know. It's because she's an absolute pro. You don't hear much from me. I was there. I was present, or maybe I wasn't really present. I was, for the most part, chasing around my kids, jumping in from time to time, maybe doing the occasional dad joke. It was all Erica, but it's fine. You guys are only here for my good looks, not my voice. So, you don't need to listen to me for the most part. Before we get to the episode, though, I want to quickly mention something. The Great World Race is happening right now. Everything got moved up 24 hours early because of some bad weather in Antarctica. As most of you know, we have 3 members of our pod fam there doing 7 marathons and 7 continents in 7 days. Ashley Paulson, Bex Gentry, and our most recent guest from Tuesday, Justin Spencer. Right now, I am actually watching the live stream. They were just on the bus. They got off the bus. They're in the airport going through security. They actually put the phone down and it went through the x-ray machine. So this phone's doing the live stream on Twitch. I'm going to post this on our stories throughout the week, do our best to share what's going on with our pod fam out there in Antarctica, Cape Town, Australia, everywhere around the world. It's super cool. They already talked to Bex and Ashley Paulson on the bus. I could see Justin in the distance. Fingers crossed. Maybe we can get all 3 of them back on the pod real quickly after the last marathon and talk all about it. So, Erica, clear your schedule. All right, guys. So I've talked enough. I hope you guys enjoy this collab with the Culture Trail Running Podcast, all Hamster Wheel, all Ultra Marathon. Oh yeah, and I forgot. Tara Pterodactyl was there too, and the cops showed up to our house while we were recording. So enjoy. Don't fear the code brown. Enjoy this bonus episode. We'll see you next Tuesday.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 313 of the Cultra Trail Running Podcast. It was a crazy week at the Hamster Wheel Marathon in New Boston, New Hampshire. Erica might still be crying. Tara's still crop dusting everywhere. Art is leaning at 42 degrees to his right, and Celeste is offering to show her boobs to anyone who's going through an emotional breakdown, and you're going to hear all about it right here, right now, on the On the Runs podcast, Cultra Trail Running Podcast collab, coming up next.
From the belly of the Beast Coast, Glastonbury, Connecticut, this is the Cultra Trail Running Podcast. We talk about all the fun shit that happens on the trails that most normal people don't care about. The language we use is f***ing explicit and raw like the trails we run on, so don't listen with your kids! No kids. Cultra is brought to you by our Patreons and supporters, and we are 112% listener supported, and support is good.
All right. Wow. Hopefully that didn't blow everybody's ears out, but even if it didn't, welcome everybody to the Culture Trail Running Podcast. I'm your host, Art Byram, and I am joined by, to start with, Erica Hamill from the On the Runs podcast. So welcome, Erica.
Thank you, guys. I'm so happy to be back. Is this my second or third time? I don't even remember.
It is.
Also, she is now known as Bubbles.
Okay.
Yes, I earned my trail nickname. Oh, you guys are so sweet. I was expecting like Fart Magoo or something, but Bubbles.
That's
so
what we
much
call
better.
you behind the
Gotcha.
scenes.
Okay, perfect.
So I guess I know that we already have like this is going to be a night where I'm going to be like that more of an asshole than normal. Where I'm going to be like, okay, come on, guys, we got to move.
We got a schedule.
Yeah, we got people piling up in the waiting room for us here. But I want to go through and just introduce, first of all, to everybody who else we have here. So, as I mentioned, we have On the Runs here to start with. And part of that, one of their regulars is Pterodactyl. Tara, what? So welcome, Tara.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome. I'm so glad I met you guys this weekend and happy to be a part of this.
Yeah. So we can definitely talk about that. Then also Celeste just ducked down and I can't see where she went. Celeste Fong, a ding dong.
Good morning. My table's like all messed up. So like I look like a talking head, but worse.
Just move your camera, maybe.
I don't fucking know how to do that.
It's a camera. You move it. There you go. Look at that.
No, it's not though, because it's like a weird.
Okay.
No, it's just
that's a Celeste
much
problem.
Better view, Celeste, of your nice boobies. There we go.
Okay. There we go. Is that better?
Very good.
Better.
But also we have a surprise. We have a surprise insider view here. Many of you guys have heard over the last couple of years now, I guess, our 7-Eleven Slurpee runner is joining us, and that's Matthew Cooper from Philadelphia joining us.
Hi there. Long-time listener, happy to be here. And of course, I sound terrible because I just ate some hot chicken, so please forgive me.
Okay, that's enough, Matthew. That's like quite enough. You've already, sorry, it just
kicked off the podcast.
That's right. That's okay. Right. Yeah, where's my bell? I gotta need my fucking bell here. No, welcome. So Matthew and I had a great time. We spent quite a few miles out on the trails.
Many happy miles.
Yeah. So I guess the big thing that we're here to talk about is the hamster wheel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right.
So, and I think that we're going to have a couple guests on. First coming up is going to be Jen Wynot is going to join us.
Yay!
But we also have actually Erica's other half is Eric. So he is going to be, he's popping in right now. So
yes, we can call him like the third.
Candy.
I know.
Oh yeah.
There he is.
As soon as I saw those kids, I was like, have some candy.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Could you come watch them right now?
I have candy, so
very good. So I have to paint the picture here. So I remember seeing Eric, I don't know, I think it was towards the end of this whole thing, I was more than 30 hours up, and I saw Eric do something that I haven't seen parents, it's like graduate level shit, parenting there. He has like kids and he's like juggling them. He's throwing one up in the air, doing three things. It comes down, he catches it, tosses it to the other hand, throws this one up in the air. It was incredible.
It's a skill I've learned over time. I just trust the process. They're kids. They're tough. I say they're hockey players. They're going to be just fine.
Absolutely. What could possibly go wrong? So,
right.
Right.
One's right next to me right now, chugging a bunch of water too. I'm like, shh.
Yeah.
Give him candy.
Go get some candy time, man.
So I wanted to ask you guys, I probably should have asked this before we all got on the air. Do you guys have the results in front of you right now by any chance? Anybody?
I can get it pretty quickly. Oh, you go ahead.
I do. So I just wanted to fire off a couple names because we want to tell our stories because that's the fun shit, but we also do want to recognize first of all, congratulations to everybody who took part. You guys everybody out there who's listening. If you were at this event, whether you were part of the support crews or pacing or running or just fucking heckling, playing that fucking guitar up on stage.
Or the vibra slap.
Oh my God, yes.
I was like, what the hell is that? Anyways.
We will get into that. So I just want to shoot off some and talk about maybe just hit up the top two finishers of each race really fast here, just to kind of recognize them. So first of all, And if you guys know these people personally or have any stories to mention on them, just throw it right in there.
Got it.
In the 6 hour, we had Aaron Stevens, who ran 12 laps, which is 48 miles. Basically, just for those playing at home, each lap is a 4-mile loop. Basically flat rail trail, but then there's a a nice little gentle hill at the end.
No, you're right. You're right.
So Aaron Stevens ran 48 miles in 6 hours.
He was flying.
Yeah.
It was just like, bye. Bye.
Yep.
Was he the one in a white singlet by any chance?
I don't think so. I think that
somebody kept flying by, and
I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
I think he was out there longer than 6 hours.
Okay.
I think it was that young kid. He's young, right?
If you're running 48 miles, you're not doing it with a lean, okay? Second was Thomas O'Shea, and he had 40 miles, which was 10 laps.
That's incredibly impressive from both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Then Charlotte Rutledge did 32 miles, and my printer sucks, so I might even mess up the name before I even get out of the gate here. So it's Ashley Bennis, I think, did
That's how I would say it.
28 miles. Yeah. So congratulations to them and to other people out there who got that distance done in 6 hours, who went out there. Then we had the 12-hour event. And these people, we were out there kind of like doing our jog walk zombie imitation. They were out there like a lot of these people are fucking running, we had Eric Boyko, who did in 12 hours, he did 64 miles.
Wow.
That's good. I think the most I ever did I guess I did a 12-hour, but usually I think I did like 50 miles or something like that. Not at this race, but in the mud and stuff. So 64, that's pretty good. Bill Elliott got the same.
Awesome. Bill from Dawsonville.
Okay, good.
Nice.
Good to know. Yep. And he got second place there. And then Eliza Markwood was first female with 56 miles in 12 hours. That's stout.
Yeah, it is.
And Margreta Dofler. She sounds like she was on Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You think like Dofler? Hey, where's Dofler? I don't know.
You mean like Stifler's mom?
Yeah, it could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was American Pie.
Yeah. Okay.
I know the reference you were going for, Art.
Okay. It's just I'm going by feel there. I'm just kind of pretending I'm in the flow there. So yeah, and you know what, mixed in there, the things that we're not mentioning right now is that there's a lot. I know for a fact that there were people who were doing their first marathon ever. A couple people I spoke to that were like, holy shit, I just did a fucking marathon. And this is something that I never dreamed I could do. Nobody in my family's ever done this. None of my friends have ever done this. I don't even know why I started doing this stupid thing, but yet here I am. So
it's so incredibly inspiring. I love to see that too.
There was a gal that I passed who she had just hit her marathon mark for the first time, and there was a big scream that went up, and then she was still going all night. She got done with her 50K, first marathon and 50K.
Very good.
Aww,
I'm willing to bet that was Melissa.
I was going to say Melissa.
I hope so. If not more than one person getting that, and it
was that Melissa Cummings?
That's the Melissa
Cummings.
About.
Yes, 32 miles.
She's amazing.
Yeah. Now, did she have like purple hair?
She sure did.
Yeah. And you know what?
Oh, she was a sweetheart.
Yeah, she was. So, congratulations to her. That was a special moment. I was fortunate enough to be crawling over the finish line, finishing a lap as she came through. So I kind of heard that, watched all that happen. So
good for her.
Yeah, very good. Then We have the 30 hours, and these are
You
the
didn't
people.
do the 24.
Oh, I didn't do the
24.
24. Oh, I thought. Oh, I did.
You did the 12.
That's right. I'm sorry, Alexander Burke. That's Becky Burke's cousin.
Oh, I thought it was her
I'm like,
evil
for real,
twin.
or-
It's not. But
I met him before the race started. He just did the Chicago Marathon. I think that was his first marathon. This was his first ultra.
really,
Isn't he incredible?
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
He
20
showed up with Marathon Panda Maurice, and he
Oh.
actually, Alex Burke is I think he's a physical therapist, and he crews Anchor Down for Mo. And yeah, like you said,
Is
this
that
was
why
his.
he looks so familiar?
Yes.
Yep, because he
okay.
was there. He was
Shit,
there.
who's
this
an
year.
idiot?
Yeah, Maurice introduced me to him at the start. So now, thank you for connecting the dots. Now, because I figure somebody who ran that much like that, it's somebody that obviously passed me a lot.
So Alex
Can you believe
actually
it?
24 hours.
Alex used to work for TB12.
Hmm.
Okay.
I did not know that.
All right.
But for a first ultra, banging out 112 miles in 24 hours, and he was
Crazy.
running at the end.
He was flying.
Yeah, I've done 112 in 24 hours, but I did it on a road that was, that was flat, and I guess it was November. I'll give it that, but it wasn't like what we dealt with.
He was
Kudos
definitely up
to you
against the
too.
clock. He had like 15 minutes left.
Oh, jeez.
Huh.
Yeah, impressive.
No wonder
though.
he was
I mean,
running.
seriously.
Yeah, 23:43.
Right? Wow.
And then Keith Nadeau, sorry, I got his name all fucked up. I think Keith was the guy who was wearing the
Rim to River. Speaking of Rim to River.
Rim to River 100 shirt, right?
Yes.
And I think he won Jigger Johnson.
He,
Do I have that right?
I don't know if he
Anybody?
won Jigger Johnson. I thought
Fight me.
no, I thought Justin Kowski won Jigger. Or do you mean this year?
This past year.
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
Justin won it the year before when Mark ran.
Keith climbs with Marcus.
Oh, okay.
Fun.
Yeah.
I got to hear a lot of stories about climbing from Marcus over,
and
over the weekend.
Yep, Keith and Drew did win.
Yep. Okay, there you go.
Oh, very good. Thank you. And then Eliza Cipriani got 100 miles in 24 hours.
Wow.
And Emily Lowry got 100 miles.
Running with
and
babies.
Leslie.
Yeah, they
the
were
two of
together.
them like did it the whole way together, and that was I think their first time doing a sub 24.
Oh,
for
yeah.
100
'cause
miles.
She was
Look at
there
their
with
times.
Leslie, right? They have like the same finishing time, basically.
Yep.
Yep.
Very close.
Yeah. Okay. So, I guess
I
if
love
I
the
mention
two of
one, I
them.
got to mention the other.
Emily
You
right?
won
have
by
to. I'm
7
not
1,000ths
gonna-
of a second. Give
7
Emily
1,000.
credit.
Nah,
That's-
I gotta shout them out. They are so amazing. They're like some of my favorite people besides yourselves to see at Hamster Wheel.
Very good. So, so those are a couple of the people who did that. Excuse me, who did that. Then going on to the 30 hour, we had Michael Lopresti Loop.
Lolo.
And Michael Lopresti will be joining us a little bit later. He did 128 miles.
Holy shit.
Yeah, 32 laps.
Such a
Wow.
badass.
I got to share, and that's despite having done more than half a loop with me. So, so he and I caught him at a low point and went a little bit faster maybe than I was normally going. So he and I got to run a loop together.
Awesome.
And second place, I sometimes it takes me a while at least for people to click. Like I'm like, oh, it's that fucking guy. I know him. Andy Daggett. So Andy did 124 miles, and Andy ran the Cut 112. He's run the Cut 112 twice. He came from motocross. So like he was like taking dirt bikes and jumping them up, 10 stories in the air around the track and just, doing all that crazy shit, so he's used to eating mud and, taking a beating. So he did 124 miles.
Do you know why he ran so fast? He was afraid I was going to pull his hair.
That could be.
No, really.
That threat sounds familiar.
Fair enough. I did pull it. So.
Yeah.
The threat was warranted.
Yeah. And then Jessica Rakuzen, or Rakuzen, or raccooning. I don't know. Sorry, Jessica. You did great though. She did 112 miles too. So
nice.
That is just awesome. And then second place female was a guest who is going to be joining us very, very shortly, as in right now.
Yay!
Okay, so joining us is Jennifer Wynot. So welcome, Jennifer.
Hello. It's good to see you all.
Yeah. So, Jennifer, we were just going through all the results, the race results, and I was just talking about the top 2 male and top 2 female finishers of each race, and we went through them all and just ended on the 30. Ended on the 30 hour.
Yep.
So, how did it go? How did it go for you?
It went really well. So this was my 4th 100 miler this year. And I wasn't too sure going into this race how I would do, just because I had just finished a 100 miler at Ghost Train a couple of weeks ago.
My God, congratulations.
I wasn't even planning on doing this race up until the Sunday before. And I went out for a run and I was like, whatever happens this run, I'll kind of see how I feel, see if I have, am returning pretty fast. And I did. I actually ran my long run the same speed and distance as my first lap of Ghost Train. So I went into this race and I felt pretty good, but I didn't want to set my expectations too high just because I had just run another race. But it was really it was a lot more challenging than I thought it was going to be. The course is hard, and meaning the terrain is hard. So the impact on my feet got the brunt of it this time. And the cold I was prepared for, because Ghost Train was cold. So I was prepared for that. The amount of darkness, the amount of hours of darkness actually got to me.
Yeah. Could we just I want to take a time out here.
Sorry.
Excuse my language, but holy fucking shit.
That was damn cold.
Oh my God. How dark was that?
My clothes were covered in frost.
Was that even legal?
No,
the jugs of water that we had were frozen. I tried to lift it up and pour it into my mouth, because at that point, that's all I wanted to do was just get water into my mouth, and it was ice. I was like, this is a sick joke.
Yeah.
It was so cold I couldn't refill my maple syrup.
Yeah.
Oh.
Our alligator froze.
It was
our main alligator
everywhere.
froze.
Yeah. Yeah.
My ass was such a wimp. I went to my car and hid for 6 hours.
I don't blame you, because
Fuck this.
I have Raynaud syndrome, so usually doing these kinds of races is not me, but all runners are badass and they do crazy things that they normally everybody else would be like, what are you doing? So I do this stuff, and I was pretty good. I was pretty good with the cold, but it was cold.
So Jen, from what I understand, Raynaud's makes the cold a lot more unbearable because fingers are especially vulnerable. Is that right?
Yeah, and it makes them go numb. So the problem with that during races is that it's hard to pull your pants down when you're trying to go to the bathroom. And then pull them back up
and give people the finger.
Yes, exactly.
All three are equally important.
Yeah, exactly. Which becomes a problem, because then you have to find somebody that you're willing to enlist into that.
You find out who your true friends are during these ultras. You really do.
You do.
Somebody who's willing to pull up your pants.
Yeah.
So have you ever tried making adaptive, because I've tried that where there's zippers that you can't get to. So putting big toggles on them that you can kind of hook, you know, that kind of thing. Has anybody tried anything like that, or? Like, how do you guys deal with that?
I'd be down with that. Like, seriously, if like somebody wants to make it, I'll be willing. I'll be a willing participant.
Okay. Yeah, they're on the Cultra store.
Pants off.
I'm really good at pulling people's pants off.
Yeah, we offer that as a service here at Cultra.
So that's the down part. Art can get the up.
Honestly, we have the I didn't know that we had the pants service, but we know we have I heard there was some hiney biting going on, and also there's a special, I mean, and you got to cut me off here if I get too bad, maybe if this gets edited out, but
listen, Danny has teeth marks too. She deserved it.
I don't even know what that is, and I don't know if I want to.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that.
Me and my friends have no filter and no limit.
Okay.
And the famous Cultra reach around service too, which isn't like it sounds. Okay. So don't get the wrong idea. Okay.
I'll stay open-minded.
It helps you turn around. Like,
gotcha.
If you're turning around, like by that outhouse at the end of the course, it helps you. We help reach around and help you through there. So
I actually didn't even use that outhouse once, which I was so shockingly surprised.
Wow.
But yeah. It was
very serene at the end of the day.
Oh, I can imagine. It was the outhouses or the porta potties were rough shape at the end.
Oh yeah.
Rough shape.
I used it at the middle of the night and there was no toilet paper, but I've learned to always bring some with me. So I had like at least tissues to help. Yeah. But if you hit that up in the on Sunday morning, you're shit out of luck.
So to speak. Yeah. Yes.
Yes, literally. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Jen, what happened that you didn't expect?
I thought that the flat course was going to be a little bit easier. And because I had done Vermont earlier this year, and that was like 17,000 feet of elevation gain. And then I did Riverlands earlier than that in May. And those really slowed me down. Vermont, I did a little over 26 hours, and Riverlands, I did 31 hours, which that takes about that time. So they were really rugged, and I thought, oh, this is going to be an easy, like flat course. But it was intense in the sense of, flat isn't always easier. Sometimes it can be harder on the mind to stay in it. Especially with the 4-mile loops, made it a little bit harder mind-wise. And the hours of darkness really did me in on this one. Fatigue really got to me. I remember at one point I was running with my eyes closed and my pacer was like, okay, this can't happen.
I think it can. I think that's fair. Tara, how about you? What did you think of the night? How did you deal with the night?
I didn't, because I only signed up for the 6.
Oh.
So what she's saying is she's smarter than the rest of us.
I was sleeping in my bed. And it was beautiful. I got an extra hour.
I mean this from the bottom of my heart, but fuck off.
Yeah, I was so jealous of the 6 hours. I was like, oh, I heard some 6-hour people be like, oh, I'm going to be getting ready. This is my last loop. I'm going to be getting ready to go home into my sauna or my jacuzzi. And I'm just like, I hate you. Right.
But why don't you?
It was my very first ultra. So I was like, I'm not going 30 hours or 20. I was like, I'm gonna test the waters a little bit.
So next year you'll do 30. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe the relay.
Listen, there's no I mean this seriously. There's a lot of people who will try to push you into longer and longer events very quickly and things like that. But I honestly and sincerely mean it, that I think it's important to savor each distance and enjoy it, because it's not always about how long you can go and stuff like that. Easy, Celeste. But sometimes it's really about like celebrating each thing. So like, I think it's really cool that you did the 6 hour, and that, you know what, I think that's great. How what was the longest that you had been prior to this?
Oh, just a marathon. I ended up doing, so I read in the rules that if you were in the 6 hour, if you finished, so I finished my 7th lap at 5 hours and 53 minutes. And I read that if you finished before 6 hours, you could go out for another lap and you'd get credit for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out for an 8th. I ran 32 miles. It's on Strava. But I only got credit for the 28. But prior to that, I had only run a marathon. So 26, I went from 26 to 32.
Beautiful.
Let's get a consensus here. Does anybody have any feedback on that? Is that, because I read that, I thought that was, I understood it to be just like you said.
Yeah.
So right now we're posing a fucking protest. Okay, right here, right now, this will not fucking stand.
Resist.
Right? I was like, I mean, that was a tough decision for me because I was like, oh, I could just stop. I'm at 28.
Yeah.
And then my friend Katie was like, let's do one more because she was doing the 12. She ran the whole my whole race with me, and then she had to do more. And I was like, all right, okay, I got one more in me. So, but now it's like on paper, it doesn't show that I have 28 and not 32.
On Strava, it's more important.
Strava.
Well,
Strava has me at 33. So
I think that it's a legitimate thing. If you did start before, and it can honestly, I mean, it's not easy to time these things in daytime and nighttime and cold and people running around and people in giant hamster suits and all that shit happening.
Right.
So I think you could probably just send a nice note and see what they say, unless you already did.
No, I haven't yet. I was going to wait a little bit because I wasn't sure if there was like a discrepancy in like the results or anything, but nothing's changed. So maybe I'll do it.
Yeah. I would say that if it's not showing now in the results, that I would definitely say something, because it's not, I wouldn't imagine that it's going to magically appear, they probably just naturally, cut it off and, that. So, but at any rate, I mean, it certainly, it happened allegedly, so, no, I mean, it definitely happened.
Knows.
Yes,
you should get credit for it. I'm reading the previous email, and it says that you should get credit for it. It won't determine like the winner is determined who finishes the most first, but you still get credit for it.
Right.
Yeah, it was just like the 30-hour.
Like 5 times, and I'm like, I knew I read that right.
Did you now? Each time you run a lap, and I didn't do it this year, so I don't know. Maybe my run doesn't count, but each time you do a loop, you can stop by and get a little token thing, right?
Yeah.
So did you do that, or?
Oh yeah, I have 8 of those.
Okay, so that's the proof. You have your receipt here.
Yeah, I lost mine somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I even made sure on my 7th lap I ran, because our little base camp was before the finish line, and I made sure I ran all the way through the finish line, and then I exited to the right, so I didn't go backwards over the timing mat. And I went back and I, grabbed more fuel, got more water, and then I went back out the same way and I finished the 8th lap. So
this woman deserves credit.
She does. She worked hard for it.
Yeah. Okay.
I was emotionally attached to my chips. Seriously.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I earned that, mother.
Those were like
give me
hard
that.
earned.
I was lucky to be able. I was afraid that if I stopped to get a chip, like I was lucky enough to get past Rob Breckenridge. Like if I could get by him, then like, I mean, and he was quite between. There was like the whole gauntlet there. First, you went, I went by R10 and then by On the Runs 10, and then by, just we had Rob there and those crews, and then Maurice, and then all that stuff. So I doing that extra stop, that was like that's too much brain power for me during these things.
Well, plus getting away from Rob as fast as possible is smart.
Well, he always gave me, like, he would rate the amount of lean that I had.
Yep.
Oh my
He kept calling you Eileen. I was like, that's so mean.
Oh, he didn't call that.
Me.
He didn't say that to my face, though.
I think somebody did. I was there and I heard it. I swear to God.
That is pretty good.
It does sound like something he would say.
Yeah. I just, believe me, I deserve that. And that's once it's out there, I'm fine with it. So, so Jen, so I know that also, let's see, Jessica Rakuzen, she also ran Ghost Train.
Okay.
And she was, I think because you were second, and I think that she was first place. And I think that might even have been reversed in Ghost Train. I think maybe I have to look at the results, but I thought for some reason that you guys finished around the same, you did similar things, or maybe I think you did maybe a little bit more than she did or something like that, but I don't know. But lots of, lots of fun on the course. Question for you guys. One word, coyotes.
Pet them.
Right?
Yeah.
Somebody want to explain?
Nothing. I heard nothing when I was out there.
Okay.
Oh yes, I heard lots of stuff, and it scared the shit out of me.
Oh, it should.
But I was with people at the time, so that was comforting. But I don't know if I would have been saved by those people if a coyote was running after me. I don't think I would be saved by many. So, I was also delirious. I don't know. It could have been a hallucination.
No, they were real. They were out there.
They were real. Oh, jeez.
They were smelling our funk. They were coming for us.
They're friendly, though.
That's the way to put it. Yeah.
Don't they eat dead things?
They do.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they were coming after us. We all smelled
they're
dead.
trained in zombie attack.
Yeah, that's fair. We weren't dead. We were definitely not dead.
There was a few dead people on that course.
I was like halfway there.
Maybe a ghost train, but not here.
Yeah, that was pretty, I have to say that was, so just towards the end, the furthest out section almost is where I heard them for the most part. And you would just all of a sudden, you'd hear like a blood curdling. It started out like, you're like, oh, that's an owl. Oh, and oh no, that's not an owl. Oh my God, it's got something surrounded and it's a demon dog.
Hey, demon dogs need love too.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Or a hamster, a demon hamster,
I'd pet one of those.
Yeah.
Oh.
The hamster, the evil hamster, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was a great time.
Isn't that what's on the buckle, right? The evil hamster.
Oh, you know what? That's actually a good point. I actually have it, and little eyes.
You've got the glowing red eyes.
Oh, wait,
yes.
Upside down. It's better to see when it's exactly. But
so, look at that. Yeah. So the it is a nice buckle, kind of like a pewter color with a hamster with jewel, like a ruby red maniac eyes. So,
yeah, so cool. It's like intense. It's the biggest buckle I've ever seen in my life. I got it and I opened it and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty serious.
Yeah. Good though.
So did anybody hear the band play Good Times, Bad Times or no? From Zeppelin?
Yes. Yes, I did.
I'll tell you what, holy shit.
That's good.
I'm a Zeppelin fan and I came in and that guy he ripped out that guitar solo like nothing. That got me half a loop by itself. That was so good.
I danced into the finish line area for one of those songs. It might have been that one actually. And I was surprised because I was not feeling that way about 5 feet before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really good. I enjoyed them a lot.
Gotcha. Wow.
I gave some fist bumps going through. I was like, all right, this is the most I can do to cheer you guys on because I got to keep going. So have fun, guys.
Hey, I saw Art out there dancing.
It is true. It is true. I came by just as the guy was getting ready for the main solo in Good Times, Bad Times. And I just couldn't, I knew it was coming and I was not disappointed. It was all that. So that was pretty cool.
Dancing with a lean to the left or the right.
To the right. Yeah. I've had notch view, I had a left lean. This one I had a right lean. So
no.
It's kind of weird.
Huh. Interesting. You have them all.
Yeah. So Matthew, what surprised you about the whole thing? Was there something that you're like, I didn't expect this to happen?
I think the biggest surprise for me was how dark and cold it got. I had done plenty of runs at night before. I had never run overnight before. And it definitely took a toll.
Yeah. Bucks with you.
Yeah. For 14 hours. 14 hours of it was what really did me in.
That is god awful.
There was the mental part of okay, I have to I know this course, it's not difficult, but you're still like, oh, it's on this turn. Nope, it's still going.
Yeah.
Weighs on you after a while. And then the cold too, really just
That
I got to a
was
point where I
rough.
was actually jogging for a bit. And I started sweating. It's not good when it's that cold.
Oh no.
Yeah. Because as soon as you stop, then your body temperature drops and you're all wet from the sweat and you're just like shivering uncontrollably.
Anybody who had checked the weather probably wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not that man.
Well, the thing is that the weather said that it was going to be a low of 30. And I would have loved 30 compared to 23.
It got down to 23.
Yeah, that's why.
There was, and the frost, because I'm like, oh, let me put on some layers. And I go to get my clothes and they're all frozen.
Everything was wet.
Yeah.
And like ice on it. And I'm like, I can't put this shit on.
Yeah. My bathrobe had like ice crystals on the collar.
Yeah.
Like
And it wasn't for fashion.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but it it also I have to say that I've run a lot overnight, but most of the time I think it's been the summer or things like that, or a time that I really expect it. But I think that our weather's been so crazy, like the week leading up to it, because it was probably, I think we had a day that was in the 70s or the 80s, that like I have recency bias. I just don't know. I don't quite expect it to be all that bad, And then
so I brought Halloween was like 80 degrees. It was insane.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But nobody's acclimated to that kind of weather yet.
No.
So I brought a puffy jacket, and usually like I don't need to go any more than a puffy jacket's like a 10 on my scale. Like, unless I'm like, especially if I'm like in air quotes running here. So, so that definitely surprised me.
I had on a hat, 2 hoods, and I was still freezing. Like plus, like it was so bad. I was like was that the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? That was me, pretty much.
Yeah.
There was a couple that was, they walked through the night and they had down pants on that looked so warm.
Why didn't you knock them over and steal them?
I was trying, I just couldn't keep up.
But I started fantasizing about having a car, like, cause I have like a whole Carhartt, like construction worker outfit that like, you can't get cold in this thing. And I have that at home, like, which did me absolutely no good. So.
Helpful.
I got hypothermic at Ghost Train at mile 90. I was trying to change layers and it just like hit me. I was on par for a sub 24, which is what I was going for. And I would have gotten it if I hadn't have gotten hypothermic and I had to stop and sleep. So for this race, I was like, I'm not like, I'm going to be prepared, because I had that same issue that one of the others had mentioned, that my stuff got frozen. And that's when I put on, it was over. So I had prepared this time for that, and I brought a lot more layers and I was more mindful of it. So I feel like I managed that pretty good. I think like y'all said, there's no way that you're not going to be cold in that temperature, but like, it was okay. It was manageable, but
excellent.
I would be willing to put myself there again. But
I don't know if this is going to help you guys, but so I learned from Nacho. Somebody gave a tip and I started doing it from then. I keep all of my clothes in plastic tote bins, and that keeps all of the condensation off. So I avoided that. But the one thing that I didn't avoid was all of my, like the Body Glide and the Squirrel's Nut Butter and all of my like lube, I guess, that froze, and I couldn't reapply. And I was like, oh no.
It wouldn't have frozen the camper.
So I brought I used Astroglide, which is like personal lubricant. Okay. That was my schedule, or that was my big plan this time.
Yes.
So I used that, and everything was great. But then like in the middle of the night, all of a sudden it occurred to me, like, Astroglide. And I was like, why didn't you bring the stuff that like warms up, like the heated personal stuff?
Don't you have to rub that, like create friction in order for that to work?
Hey,
I feel like
I've been practicing for this my whole life. Okay. So I can't make that work. You know, I mean, come on, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have to say that did occur to me that maybe I brought the wrong lube. So
yeah, there was like no right lube because it all just froze. Like I even had the what is it, salty britches, like the foot lube, and I couldn't even get that out to reapply to my feet. And Eric, okay. Patty and Bill were in the camper and they said it was still really cold in there. So no guarantees my shit wouldn't have frozen. Even I had Aleve liquid caplets and those were even frozen.
Oh
it was
God.
so
I didn't even know they could freeze.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either until this. So I'm just, it was an experience.
Gotcha. So Jen, do you have anything else? Because we get I get some other people piling up here. So first of all, congratulations again. I'm glad that you and I got to share some really nice miles together, and you were a very positive influence on my running. And you know, it was good to catch up some on the trail. But anything to add before we say goodnight?
Nothing I can think of. Yeah, it was a really cool experience. And like you can do back-to-back hundreds. Like it can happen as long as you're trained. And sometimes just set one goal and then you'll reach 4 goals like I did.
Very good.
So thank you for having
Excellent.
me here.
Hey, Jen, one thing. If
Yeah.
someone says, hey, why are you going to do 2 100s a couple weeks apart? You know what you say?
Why not?
Oh, damn.
Yes, I know. I hear it all the time.
I guess you do, right?
You just shut down his dad joke.
I love it. No,
I mean, because Jen, you hadn't heard that one before.
No, never. First time.
I love it.
Because you still got to try though, Eric. You got to go there.
A for effort. A for effort.
That's what we do.
Thank you.
Graduate level dad shit right there. So, very good. All right. Well, thank you, Jen.
Yeah, we'll see ya.
Have a great night.
Good night, Jen.
Night.
You know, I was going to ask her if she was sizing up her competition because Erica was in the 30 hours and was she looking up who else has done 100 milers and you've already done 2 this year. But I had to go with the dad joke.
The bottom of the fucking list, dude. I'm the one scraping by the skin of my teeth. And she's like, I can go faster. I can do this. And so she has goals. I am just trying to sneak it in there. I don't know.
You can do it. Why not?
Very good.
Because I'm not Jen, that's why.
Can I take over for a quick second here?
Yes.
Pterodactyl, what's going on at your house right now? Because there's blue lights, everything's
I got
going
cops
crazy.
outside my house. And there's some guy getting arrested. That's why I keep looking. My dogs are going crazy. I don't know. Some guy, his trunk is empty. There's plastic bins all over my front lawn. The cops are
So tonight is election night, so we don't know what this might be.
Oh no.
We're going live. Tara,
we're coming live from Manchester, New Hampshire.
The cops are banging on the door and saying, Tara.
Tara's you need to borrow my handcuffs.
Yeah, right.
You understand I'm very
Would
busy
you like
at the moment.
furry pink ones or blue?
Yeah, fair, thanks.
I don't know what's going on.
Sketchy. Oh no.
All right, we'll stay on the phone with this here, Tara.
Okay,
keep the phone on, keep the camera in case anything happens. Yeah.
Very good. Hey, speaking of cameras, Marcus, are you able to turn on your camera? How you doing today, Marcus?
Amazing. I miss you guys.
Yeah. It's been 2 days.
I know. The real life sucks.
Very good.
It really does.
Yeah, real life is stupid.
It is.
Can we just go back to running?
Yeah.
I mean, that is my real life, but
so Marcus, you were in the 30-hour race, right?
Yeah, oopsie.
This asshole put off signing up for 3 months.
Okay. That's wise. So that's pacing yourself. So what surprised you about this race, if anything? Did you see everything that you expected, or was there something that kind of jumped out at you here?
No, that's why I go to these. Right.
Gotcha.
No, they're amazing. I don't know. They're way too much fun.
Yeah. How did it so how did the whole thing go for you? What happened?
Oh, it was all the all the emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't I know it? I owe Marcus so much because he like made me laugh through most of my laps and through a few of my not mental breakdowns, emotional breakdowns. He was there to like give me some hugs, and I owe you a lot, Marcus. You're the best.
No, you guys are. That's like the only way we could do all these, right?
It's a lot of fun. I mean,
well,
after the fact, it was definitely a lot of fun.
Type 2 fun.
I gotta tell you that, and I think that like if anybody wants to fight me on this, like fucking bring it on. Marcus is the kind of guy that when you're out there, he's like when you see him, like all of a sudden you know that it's gonna be okay for at least like 5 seconds. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay for a little bit. Like, it's gonna give you a boost. You're gonna feel, you're gonna feel good about yourself, and you're gonna feel good about the community, and about getting together with people. So
there's no way to see Marcus on a course and not smile.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
right on.
Yeah.
Right on. So so Marcus, what have you, what's your year been like? Just to kind of what got you to Hamster Wheel?
Wait, what just happened? Hold on one second.
Oh, can you hear us? Uh-oh.
I lost it.
Okay, so I guess I asked a little bit. Sometimes we dig a little deep here on the podcast,
Holding
right?
under questioning.
That's right. Yeah, fuck that. I'm out of here. I refuse to answer that.
Art the prosecutor.
That's fair. That's fair. So
Well, he was coming to us from a van, so I don't know what's going on
in the
there.
woods.
That sounds like Marcus.
Down by the river.
It's out. Okay, maybe he's outside of Tara's house. The cops are surrounding him.
That's what's going on.
Okay, now we know the cops are here.
Okay.
Going. Yeah, so I think he's hopping back on now. So we'll give this another shot here.
My gosh, sorry about that.
No, that's okay, Marcus. So there you go.
There's Marcus.
People are calling.
Oh, geez. Oh, yeah, we can't have that. I'm on the podcast. Leave me alone.
Right?
So, where are you calling us from?
The van.
From the van. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. I know. I didn't even get to like see your van.
Yeah.
How's the van life going?
Yeah, I don't know. I just crawled into it at the end, and I'm so lucky that I made it all the way home in the van.
I got to drive Art's van.
Oh, you did. I was scared to death. I wasn't even in the van, and I was scared.
I'm a good driver.
Yeah. It's just all the obstacles problems.
Listen.
You did fine. You did very well.
I would never hit an animal. Okay. People, whatever, but I would never hit an animal.
Gotcha. Marcus, so anything to I'm kind of stacking up my waiting room here.
Oh,
and
no.
I just want to kind of say, it was really good to see you there. Anything you kind of want to mention about the race, like maybe a highlight or something, or?
Oh my God, it was all you guys. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to everybody. That was like probably one of the funner weekends, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
I mean, yeah. That was hard to go back to work.
Yeah. I'm so glad I'm retired, because it was hard to go. It was hard to go back to retirement today or yesterday. I don't even know what day it was. Yesterday, I logged 2 walks to the mailbox.
Perfect.
And then I listened to what AI said, and it said things like, well, congratulations on recording your top heart rate, and, other things like that. Feel free to, 85 steps is nothing to sneeze at. So
good.
It was pretty good. But Marcus, it was great to see you there.
Yeah, man, thank you guys. You guys are the best.
No, Marcus, you are the best.
And I hope to see you at the next one too. So, I think
he'll
for
be there,
people,
or I'll kick his ass.
Yeah, for people out there, if you don't know Marcus, you should. And definitely, and I can't imagine you're going to do an event like this and not, and not know him. So you should definitely say hi when you're out there. You won't be, you won't be disappointed. So
Marcus is joy personified.
Yeah.
Will be laughs.
Oh my God, why am I being nice?
Of laughs.
I know, Celeste. That's why it's so awkward. I'm like,
about him, that's why.
What's going on?
Oh God, I must be tired.
Yeah. Oh,
I can't.
So,
well, thank you guys.
Thank you, Marcus. And we'll catch up with you soon. So
yeah, have a great night, everybody.
All right,
buddy.
You too.
Good night,
see you.
Take care. Okay. Next joining us here is Roman Volpe. Welcome, Roman. How are you?
Hi, Roman.
Hi, guys. I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. So good to see you, Roman. I don't know if you remember even talking to me much.
Look, he's smiling.
I know.
I promise I'm a happy person.
Oh, gosh.
Listen, for the first 80 miles, 85 miles, you were sunshine.
I was having a blast, and I even towards the end, I got back and I just needed to get warm, and I was like, oh, I totally could have finished this. And even food too, I was thinking about it, and it's hard to live with a little bit, but I just was sick of eating and in the middle of the night. And I was like, man, if I just had an extra granola bar or even in the morning, an egg sandwich, I was like, I just don't want it.
Yeah.
I just was sick of eating, and I just wish I did, because then I got back and I had food. I was like, oh, my legs don't hurt that bad. And I was back.
It wasn't the pain. If it was just the pain, I probably would have just kicked your ass to keep going. But you were almost nonsense and shit. So for a little background. So I found him out on the course, and I was going to help him hit it. And he got.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's what she said. No, he got to the point where.
Okay.
I was offering you Skittles, and you're like, no, I can't. And I'm like, you can suck on one. He's like, I just want a straw. I'm like, what are you talking about, my guy? You couldn't even make sentences. Your eyes were not focusing. You were falling over. It was and you were shivering. You're like, I'm so cold. I'm like,
well,
yeah.
So that's the thing, crazy too, because Skittles are my favorite candy. And I never turned down Skittles. So
something's wrong at that point.
Oh my God. Doctor, how is the patient presenting? He's got a rapid heartbeat. He's clammy skin, and he's not eating his Skittles.
That's what it
felt like. No, sir.
And another runner came by and was like, do you want a payday? I was like, absolutely not. And
what?
The crazy
too, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. The crazy thing was the crazy thing for me was I wish I'm looking back on it, I have no complaints. I'm happy with how everything went. Even not finishing, that's still I think I gave a good effort.
No. You finished. You did 90 miles. That's fucking amazing.
Well, regardless.
For your first ultra.
Well, then I talked with all the race directors, and they were like, so we heard you didn't train for this. And I was like, well, I kind of did, but kind of didn't. It was crazy because if that happened, I was trying to keep up with the crew that I was kind of walking with, and which was very helpful. I couldn't have gotten as far as I did without them. But
were you with Justin and Mike?
I was with Justin, Mike, and Rob, and and those guys are studs, and we were crushing miles at night, and they were holding a fast pace, which I wouldn't have held on my own, and I was hard to keep up with, but keeping up with them kept me going. But I just needed a little more time than they were willing to give, because they were cramping up too. So in my head, they're superheroes, and they were like, no, we can't sit, Roman. We're cramping up. I'm like, what do you guys mean? You don't even look like you're in pain. You look like you can run. And I'm like, I just need an extra few minutes to get off my feet. And I think it was just a couple of things that were going on at the same time. The food was one thing. It was super cold. That was another thing. I didn't necessarily have a crew at all. So the time that I could have spent to staying warm and get off my feet a little bit, I was filling up my bottles and doing things because I had nobody else to do it for me. So, and that was part of it. And then trying to keep up with them was a little bit part of it. My shoes, I don't know how people feel about shoes, but I felt like
I'm basically pro shoe. I would say.
He's going the barefoot shoes now. But I had like cushy shoes and they just felt compressed the whole time. Like,
what were you wearing? What kind of shoes? You know,
I had New Balance Fresh Foam 1080s.
Okay. Oh, 1080s. That's a baller right there.
So they were
doing okay.
I wear those to cut grass. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those are good kick around, go to the market, take the garbage out, mow the lawn. No.
I was worried it was gonna be like a technical trail, but it wasn't. So I was like, this is gonna be a perfect shoe.
Yeah.
And it was until like mile 64. I hit my 100K, and then after that, I just didn't have any like bounce left in them. Like it was all just like a brick. And so then my calves started to take over a little bit.
Did you only have that pair of shoes?
I had some Hokas, but I hate Hokas, to be honest. Like they don't feel good on my feet at all.
I can't do Hokas for distance. They make my shins hurt.
Yeah, like my Achilles were killing me with my Hokas. So I was like, I'm not wearing them. So I didn't want to switch. And I was talking with Justin, and he was like, I never switch. And I was like,
I don't either.
So I
don't even change my socks.
I did change my socks. I did.
It's easy to say like I do this or I don't do this, and sometimes for me at least, the answer is always it depends, right? Mm-hmm. Like I don't change my shoes either. Like I ran 100 almost every time. You know, most of my longest runs, I haven't changed my shoes. But something like this, for some reason, when it gets cold like that, if I have something that's bugging me, like I had a pair of Hokas on, like a Tecton X, nice light carbon shoe. I felt great. My feet started to hurt, like 40 to 60 miles. I forget where it was, whatever the mileage was. And so I changed into a brand new pair of shoes with a brand new pair of socks of a brand I had never tried and a model I had never tried. But I knew
genius.
Risky there. As one does. Yeah. And it was a great move. And it was the perfect thing, just because it puts different stresses on your body. Like if something's bugging you and you know it and you have the ability to fix it, you should fix especially something like this. Because if I went for a loop and they were worse, I wouldn't have liked to, but I could always change back,
Well, that's kind of cool thing about this race. Like I told Celeste, I was like, I'm never doing this again. Like she was trying to push me and I was like, I'm never doing it. This is dumb. But I got back. I got back at like home at like June, and I was like, I still 2 hours to finish. Like I totally could have finished. Like, I'm doing this every year. I'm getting my family to do it with me next year. I'm getting my friends to do it with me. The rate, like,
so try something babies new. Run 100 miles. So
that's like I was like, I got back and people were like, oh, like how was it? I'm like, yeah, it was a little hard. But I go, it really wasn't that hard because you had your aid. If you wanted to try something new, if something didn't work in less than an hour, you could change it and try something else. And even if you didn't want to get 100, if you were less ambitious or whatever, go walk the next 6 laps or whatever. Go sleep for you have there's zero like pressure to do anything. You could walk 1 lap and play cornhole for the rest of the time, and that'd be the perfect race day experience. So for me, like,
correct,
I had a blast, and I told Celeste, like, I'm never doing this again. But and then remembering Justin's words and Rob's words and Mike's words, like, I only want to be friends with ultra runners now. Like, you guys are the best people ever. And and then listening to the podcast too, like catching leaves and different things. And like, I'm like, this is definitely the group of people I want to be a part of. And it's just so much fun.
And once you're part of it, it's almost like as ultra runners, you adopt someone and it's almost like we're all just family, right? And there's these people that are like ultra, like hard badasses that treat like the people, like you said, that they'll do 1 lap and they're treated the same. And it's a beautiful experience to watch. Like this kind of race, I just love seeing everyone like you. Like, Roman, this was your first ultra, right?
Yeah, this was
so yeah. What was your longest distance before this, Roman?
Well, I'll give you like a quick rundown if I have the time. I don't want to take too much, but
I'll cut you off. I got a bell right here. So
okay.
When I hit that bell, that means shut the fuck up. So you're good. Go ahead. Take as much time as you need.
Fine, I don't know. But so my longest one before this was just a marathon. Like, so I still don't consider myself a runner. That's crazy. Like so I go to my family, but what Celeste just said, I remembered it again. Regardless of the race, I need to see like the people again. Like I would go back because it's the people. Like the races, whatever. I would just drive and fly there just to say hi for 10 minutes and leave. Like that is worth it to me because the people are kind of what make it. But so
Cool.
I don't consider myself a runner necessarily. Like I consider myself like a weightlifter, just like like an exercise enthusiast. But so my longest run was a marathon, and like how I got into it was, I like to just, I mean, out of high school, like I'm in college now, but out of high school, like you leave sports. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do now to like challenge myself? And so my first year in college, I did the 4x4x48. And that kind of like got me into some like challenge stuff.
Yeah, the Goggins stuff, right? You run 4 miles every 4 hours or something, right?
Yeah, for
48 hours.
So I did that at school, and it was like I'm up running when people are coming back from like fraternities and the
Were
bar.
you like on the college track, like just doing laps out in the middle of the night?
Well, a little bit, but also just on the streets, and I would like see people come back like from parties, and I'm like, we're doing opposite things right now. But I kind of felt like I feel pride in that a little bit. So then I always have to like one up myself a little bit. So I was like, okay, what's next? I go marathon. Let's do it like kind of like straight, like a long distance straight. I said, skip the half marathon. We'll go marathon straight. And that was in 2022, the Buffalo Marathon. And then the next year in 2023, last year, I did half Ironman. I said, I hate swimming and I'm not really a great biker.
We call them Ironmen. Ironman. That's like an Ironman.
Yeah, but I only half. So I did half Ironman. And again, same situation. Like I trained, but like I didn't do a single open water swim.
Yeah.
Stationary bike at school because I was at school. And then when I got home 2 days before the race, I rode my bike for the first time for like 25 miles. And I was like, oh, send it to the race. And then like the day off, I was like, I hope I don't get a flat tire. Like I didn't check the brakes or anything.
Change the spark plugs. You're good.
I was like, we're good to go. And then did that. And then this year I was like, okay, what's more than that? Half Ironman. I was like a full Ironman. Ultra's like, it's not 140 miles. I can do 100 miles. So let's just do that. And so actually it's crazy because I didn't have a challenge for this year. I didn't know what to do next. Like this was kind of on my radar, but I didn't plan it. And like the time's kind of going. I usually like to sign up in January as like a New Year type of thing. But I was going through a breakup in June. And it kind of was like, okay, now is the time to sign up for an ultra. So I signed up for an ultra. June, back half of June training was like really good. July, I had like an 82-mile week. Like I was feeling good. On my 21st birthday in July, I ran. I woke up. I stayed up all night. I ran a marathon around my track, like the high school track at midnight. So like midnight to 5 a.m. was like that was like I was like, oh, the hamster wheel, it's a circle. Little did I know it's not really a circle. Like it's not a loop at all. I was like, let's get used to running.
Demented lollipop.
That's what I said. I go, it's like a lollipop. There's like a stick and there's like a little circle at the end. So in my training, I was like, let's get used to running a circle. So for 5 hours, I ran around a track on my birthday because I was like, and I also do the opposite. I was like, what's everybody gonna do on their 21st birthday? I'm gonna do the opposite. So I ran a marathon, and that was like very helpful. Come this
training mental fitness right there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of similarities. There was a lot of similarities. And then after that, like my Achilles really hurt because my Hokas were bad, and it was probably a bad decision to do that. And then, so I didn't run for a little bit at the beginning of August, but in August was pretty good training. And then I came back to school in September, and me trying to be a good person was helping a buddy out with a research study he was doing. So I was a participant, and I couldn't exercise outside of the study for like 6 days or something like that. So like there was like a week of training where I was like, well, we're in crunch time. Like, a week of training is like in September when the race is in November, it was like, this is pretty significant. And then me being also me, I was like, okay, I finished that thing. I ran Monday, ran Tuesday. Wednesday, we had flag football. I was like, I'm not going to say no to flag football. Like you're only in college once. So I did it. And I tore my hamstring. Like it was the worst injury I've ever had.
Oh no.
I never had any hamstring injury ever. And I was like, I can't even walk for like 2 weeks. I could barely walk. Like that was a terrible decision. And then I should have let it heal, but I was just kind of like, no, we got to get running again. So instead of running on the road to get my legs turning over, I was like, let's go trail run because it's a trail race. And don't I stub all my feet on the roots and trip, and I'm using my hamstring to like land. I'm like lunging. I'm like, oh, my hamstring is just getting ripped up more and more.
Oh.
So then everybody's like, Roman, I looked at your Strava, like you had no miles in October. I think somebody looked at, I had a 1 mile week. I ran 1 mile on a treadmill on like the second week of October.
That's good.
And I was like, yeah,
I got a tattoo, so I took a week off.
Because treadmills suck, right?
Training.
So
yeah. And
that's
then
pretty.
Exactly. So then and my friends all wanted to do the Seacoast Half Marathon in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
It's right next to school for me. So we all did that on Sunday. And then on Saturday was the race. And I was like, well, that's probably another good idea is to sign up for a half marathon.
So you did a marathon a week before this?
Half marathon.
Oh, a half marathon. Okay.
Half marathon on the Sunday. It was like 6 days. And then also me being me, this was stupid too. And this is why like everything was kind of like against me, but I still was like happy with my result. I didn't go out on Friday, but I went to like say hi to some people just to be nice and show up because they were having like a little gathering, you know, for Halloween and stuff. And I'm not really like a big fan, but I was like, I'll go to be nice. They invited me. So I went, ended up staying up way too late. So I head into this race, right? A bad hamstring, like didn't train, like on 4 hours of sleep. And I was like, let's go see what we can figure out. And 90 miles was 90 miles. So
I think you kicked ass. I do think you made the right choice because I've had a lot of experience seeing people and you were not okay out there.
But I don't think I was like ready to quit mentally other than like if I kept going, I feel like I would have ended up in an ambulance.
I agree with that. You were at a point where
some people might think that that's not a good thing, right?
That's what everybody tells me. I came back and they're like, that's probably good. I'm like, no, it's not. Like I could have finished that.
Yeah.
But the number one lesson that you have to learn if you're going to do this sport long term is when to push and when to not.
Well, yeah.
So what's Celeste? I think what you're saying, Celeste, is that like there's this big attitude that's out in society of what people think that running is. People think running is like we run to first base when we're playing baseball or softball. They think like no pain, no gain, and I'm going to push through this. And it's really not. It's like when you're talking about being a mentally strong runner, more often than not, it means I'm going to be mentally strong. And that means that I have to back down now. And while my friends are going to run this faster, I need to back off of this because it's not right for me right now.
That's what I learned like in marathon prep. I actually prepped well for the marathon. And one guy, I asked everybody questions at this race, like kind of what the strategies were. And the one thing he said was like, you're going to feel fresh, you tapered, you're high in like your fuel and stuff, but you have to go slow. And sometimes like what you're saying is right. It's mentally harder to say, no, I need to go slow. I need to not go out really hard, even though I feel fresh because it's saved me later. And that exact same situation here. Like there was a couple of times I wanted to quit and like, I was like, no, I'm just like, I'm tired or I need like, ibuprofen or whatever. Like I need a fuel or whatever. And then I made it, right? Then you make it to the next like upswing.
Yes.
This was like, there was no upswing after this.
I saw you just before you quit. I think maybe you were on your way out to the end, I think, because you got to the turnaround and then you called it.
If I had the same situation happen to me at camp, I would have been fine because I would have taken 20 minutes, warmed up, ate
It would have been a very different situation because you would have had the support you needed. But we were 2 miles from the end.
Yes.
He couldn't walk 2 feet.
Yeah.
I got him back to the turnaround so he could get picked up. I don't know if you know this, Roman. He was hugging the garbage. His head was in the garbage.
Oh no!
Like his head, and I'm like, my guy.
Was this like a sexual thing, or what was this about? What was going on?
Possibly, and I'm not judging because I don't judge that shit.
I mean, kids these days, we don't know.
Things happen
right?
at 90 miles.
We're kind of out of that scene a little bit, just.
We already talked about bite marks. Okay, you missed that talk, but
things happened at 90 miles. I was up for like 36 hours. It felt like I had like 8 hours of sleep going into like the last like Friday and Saturday. I went into with like I think I got 8 hours of sleep the past 2 nights, like total.
Yeah,
the Thursday night I slept terrible. Friday night I slept not at all, and then I went
here.
Yeah.
So did we learn anything from that about sleep?
Yes.
Well, yeah. I didn't feel super tired in the race. I think it was just food. Like I ate well. I forced myself to eat well. But then 2 a.m. came and it was just like I wasn't, and to my surprise too, like my GI was like awesome the whole time. I had no gut
that's issues. Nice.
That was I was like expecting my GI to get lost at some point and my toenails to be gone. My feet held up really well. My stomach held up really well. And I think a little bit is credit because I took sports nutrition here, like 2 classes of sports nutrition. So I kind of understand it, and which is probably why I can push myself a little bit.
Did you have a plan as far as a nutritional plan?
Not like, so
were you looking at calories or carbs or anything like that?
Yeah, a little bit, just like loosely though, because no plan survives first contact. So, and I think it's more demoralizing and discouraging when things go wrong in your head and that you kind of like lose it a little bit faster. So if you keep it, this is what I'm aiming for, but I'm gonna kind of adjust as I go. It's
of course. Yeah.
That's kind of the way I approached it. It was like, I know kind
right
of
on
hit, like I knew some parts I wasn't going to hit the 700 that I needed. I was like, okay, I'm okay with 600, whatever. But if I can get a couple more here over there.
Are you saying 600 calories?
Yeah, like, cause I burn a lot. Like I needed, my plan was to idle high at the beginning. And then kind of later I knew
So you were shooting for 600 calories per hour?
You pretty much.
A specific carb goal on that? Or is it just calorie goal?
I had, it kind of like very, like a little bit of both. Like I just mostly was just trying to eat enough. I was aiming, for I forget what I had set for carbs, but then there was a couple times where like I don't want carbs right now. I need protein. Like I'm really like hungry. I want to feel some satiety.
Yeah.
So
you said your GI was good, and it doesn't seem like that puts you out. In fact, you said that you were tired of food, which we all get fatigued there, but that's great.
It was like a lack of discipline, honestly, which was silly to me because that's like one area I pride myself in. But like I was sick of bananas. I didn't want another banana.
Bananas are gross.
I love bananas, but I didn't want another one. I didn't want another peanut butter and jelly. I didn't want another granola bar. I was sick of my like.
You do know they had pierogies, right?
I didn't know they had pierogies.
They had fucking pierogies.
I burned my tongue 100 times on the chicken noodle soup. Like my tongue hurts so bad. So I was.
I did that on apple cider. It was a big mistake.
Beef stew over here.
So I had like a ton of chicken noodle soup, but it just wasn't enough because Justin was like, "Yo, we gotta go. Like it's 5 minutes." I was like, and I had no help. Like I had to run to my tent, fill up my bottle with, and I was doing like food and the bottle an hour. Like I was doing my handheld for most of the time, and then it got dark. I put my vest on, but wasn't even using it because aid was so like frequent. I didn't need my vest. It felt like. And then, so I switched back to my handheld, but then I was doing half a bottle a lap. So a bottle every 2 laps. And that was just like too soon to do that. And I shouldn't have done that at all, but I was just sick of drinking it. I just didn't want it anymore. And it wasn't like it tasted bad or upset my stomach. I just was like, I need a new flavor or I
know exactly what you're talking about.
These are all like everything you're mentioning there is like textbook. You get fatigue. So Erica, what was your strategy with nutrition? Like just to kind of contrast, what did you?
Grilled cheese.
Yes.
Marty was slinging grilled cheeses like all afternoon. And I was like, yes. And I think Sweet Baby Angel, he went and got like mozzarella sticks. And I was like,
Sweet Baby Angel had the mozzarella sticks.
I eventually had them. I think I ate like 8 of them because they would just hit the spot. I don't know. It's all just like switching it up. It may be like total crap food, but something like that can just like perk you right up. I don't know. Cause I had a handheld. I did like Scratch Labs high carb. I was doing, God, what else? I had ham and cheese roll-ups that I would stick in my pocket and just like whip out and eat. Like anything like, and it does take practice to figure out what you might want. And I brought like a whole bag of crap that I didn't even touch, but I don't know.
I took Justin's
it all
ham
depends.
And cheese roll-ups. But I got home and I didn't want anything either, but I was like, I knew we need to eat. So I had a grilled cheese and that like, I perked right up after the grilled cheese. Like,
yeah.
And I was thinking about like what else I could have wanted. I wish I brought like a protein shake because then I would have gotten the calories and like a different flavor and just was able to drink it because I was fine. I just didn't want to chew. Like I didn't want to.
They say that there's a couple different types of food that you generally look for, either something sweet, something salty, or something savory, or the basic, the basic things. I tried something very different for me that is just like way off in left field, but it worked pretty well. Was I lived almost exclusively on gels, energy gels for most of it.
Really?
And so,
I
I used hydrogels. Now they're not your traditional sugary, gooey, like a goo or a Hammer Nutrition kind of product. I used a precision fuel that was 90 carbs, a large goo, and it was hydrogel. So and it had a screw-on cap, and each one of these had 90 grams of carb in it and like 460 calories or something like that.
Wow.
I could take this and just undo the lid without having to tear anything or fuck around with it, squeeze it, and this would just go right down the gullet. No, it was like this stuff went right down. So easy.
Perfect.
No fatigue whatsoever from it. And I felt certainly through 50 miles, I didn't even bat an eye. I was 100% fueled, no problem.
My nutrition was perfect too, but I also was fucking around. I wasn't really doing, I didn't do a lot of miles or anything. I was more having fun.
She was walking back and then was going zigzag with me, come on, we're going this way. Now we're going this way. And I was like, I feel bad. I'm ruined. And then she was like, I got to go finish my lap. after I was sitting down for 25 minutes.
I honestly went into this race very much just being like, I'm going to have fun. And I got my friend Danielle, she did her first 100K. So we're super fucking proud of her.
Hell yes.
And it was all about that. It was just about having fun, being stupid, seeing how many people I could offend. And I think I got all of them.
Pretty much.
If I'd be.
The answer is how many people are X equals how many people are in the race. and or crew and or spectators or neighbors.
It was one of the best races I've ever had as far as emotionally. I walked away from this race feeling 1,000% good, even though I did 66 miles, I think, or 64 technically, but again, back and forth a few times. But it was like that. Oh my God, there's a bug in my. Okay. It was amazing. It was a good time.
Same for me. I wanted to go out and give a good effort. So regardless of how the finish was, but I agree. I just had fun. And I think that's what I was able to produce what I could because I was just having a blast the whole time. I didn't take it serious. And I think some of those races, anything you do in life like that is if you don't put that pressure on yourself and you just say, let me see what I can do. I'm going to go have fun with it. And you surprise yourself with how much you can do. And I think Erica too, I don't know if I ever knew your name, but I don't think I ever saw you walk. Did you ever walk?
Me?
Bubbles?
Oh, yeah.
Bubbles was walking at the end.
I was the one who gave Celeste a hug while crying. And then I was like, oh my God, is he okay?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even think he realized it was me, but I definitely did some walking.
I was like, I think I saw you 100 times. I was like, I don't think I ever saw you walk. What was really discouraging, forget all of the ending was what it was. But when I saw the 2:00 hour hit twice, that was I'm going to do that again. And that was brutal. And it's still, you still logged miles, but to be in the dark for another hour. And then we're walking. I was with Mike and Justin, and we hear coyotes at the second 2 a.m. And we were like, wow, the thing is 3 of us because we are too tired to send any of these off by ourselves.
Yes,
Did you know they were coyotes when you heard them?
Yeah, I think so. It was howling for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little offended that not one of you caught a coyote for me to pet. All of you were there for me, and not one of you caught a coyote.
I thought that's why they were howling. You already caught one.
We didn't even see, I didn't even see an animal. Justin was like, dude, I haven't yet to see a deer yet. I was like, now that you mentioned it, I haven't seen a single animal.
Oh, I didn't see any animals there. I mean, the dogs, but I didn't see any animals there either. I didn't see any. Oh, no, I saw some squirrels.
I didn't think
that was what I saw. I saw 2 squirrels the whole freaking time.
And I didn't hallucinate once that entire race.
That's bullshit.
I know, right?
The nighttime for me, I know it's a hard time, and it definitely was. I would say the 2 a.m. time to the 5 a.m. time was the hardest. But I love when it gets dark like that, and I'm an early morning person, so when it's early morning and dark, that's where I do my best work. And so we're walking, and I think it was Rob. He had a speaker, and he puts on this music, and he's got this beard, right, and all these things, and he's doing Southern States 200, I think, right? And so but he's walking with us, and it's like out of a war movie. Like Justin has this beard and mustache, Rob has this beard, and I'm like just this beat up kid. Like it feels like we're in a movie, like walking through the like it was, and it's like
you got to beat. You had the drum, right? They had the
no, it was a guitar. It was like it was insane. It was like
it is like that. I started singing the Battle of New Orleans. 1814 took a little trip. I sang a whole 2 or 3 verses of that to Robert Jeffers, who was out there with me. And I just got to say that man is a saint, because I want to see, just by a show of hands, how many people here thought about quitting at one time during this?
You got 2 hands and my feet in the air. I almost quit a bunch of times.
I basically decided that I was going to quit one lap. And then I was like, oh, this is just my mind messing with my body and my body messing with my mind, because they're just in cahoots to get me to stop, because they know exactly what I need to hear. And so I decided I was going to run instead, So I did the first running I did in miles. So
you tell them. Tell yourself, Art. Yeah.
Yeah. It was funny that it happened. It's always a miracle like that. So
go ahead.
Oh, so Roman, I was going to say, we got a kind of a stacked night here. I want to congratulate you on your 90 miles. And I wondered if there's if you have any last comments before we say goodnight to you.
I'm trying to think if I have anything. I have one thing that I was thinking of before, like the demographic, is just so like it's just surprising to me. Like you have some people that don't look like they would be ultra runners, whether it's like body composition or age or anything, and they are outworking me and all these other people. And it was so cool to just see these people zombie walk at 2:30 in the morning, and they're like 75 years old, and they just are doing it. And I'm like, this is awesome. But no, I think it's a very, like, I like challenging myself. So I think if like any last things I have to say is like, this is such a cool sport, and that it really mimics life, and it very, mimics that, like, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. Nothing's going to go as planned, but you just keep putting kind of one foot in front of the other. It's an endurance race, right? It's like how much we can take in life, whether things go our way, things don't go our way, but we can always be smiling. We can always find joy along this journey, whatever it is. Like, we don't know the distance, right? And that's what's cool about this race is, and same in life, like we don't know the distance, and you just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I think it mimics it very well, and it's very cool to be part of it.
Well said. You fucking nailed it, Roman. Thank you so much.
He did.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was good. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk to you later, Roman.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Okay. Next up, we have although it says Sarah Lopresti, we have Michael Lopresti joining us here. How you doing, Michael?
I'm good. How are you? Hope we can just do the Sarah reference. Apologize for that.
No, that's quite all right.
You're Sarah now.
So first of all, congratulations to you, Michael.
Thank you.
128 miles, right? Is that? I say that, and I was like, was it that much?
Yes,
I was like, holy crap. Yeah,
I cannot
that's right.
imagine doing one step over the 100 that I managed to finish, because that was like, it took absolutely everything I had, and you did so much more than that.
Yeah, if I'm reading it correctly,
well
you
done.
got the fourth you surpassed your previous best and still retained fourth most miles at this event.
Awesome. Yeah, that was 128 was my goal going into it, so I was very happy to land that. And
excellent.
Yeah, and is your name Heidi, right, with the earrings? Yeah, I saw you, or I'm not sure.
Anyway, me? I'm Erica.
Oh, that's
Erica. Right. You were awesome.
Correct.
Erica. I recognize you go back and forth
She's
a lot.
6-star Erica. 6-star.
Maybe 7-star someday. I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, you were just out there crushing it the whole time. And I'm like, how are these people just moving so well? And I can't.
So, and he's so humble about it too.
Seriously, goals.
He's like, hey, I won the whole race, but I'm also not going to mention that.
So funny story. He ran past Katie and I was like,
yes.
to Katie, I go, oh, he's got a hamster wheel tattoo. He probably won this thing. And he heard me and he's like, can I tell you a story? I was like, please. Because I'm like new to the scene. I don't know anybody, but I'm super friendly. And but then he told me the story about the open heart surgery. And I was like, oh my God. It's like, that's badass.
Yep. And this was the third time you won that race, right? The third time you won hamster wheel? Yeah.
Yeah, 21.
Worthy.
Right?
I like this course, and this course likes me. I guess it's just a perfect combination of timing of the year, the very runnable out and back. I love that out and back section, the softer surface.
I do too.
I love the social
I was
aspect.
gonna say, I'm like, you may be the only one. I'm like not loving it right now.
Yeah, I like it. I get in the zone with that.
I like the social aspect of it.
Yeah,
that keeps me moving. The seeing people and the annoying people. Like I'm really good at it.
So Michael, what is it that like could you bring us through a loop? Like you're crossing the starting line there, and what are you like, what is your approach to the course? Like we all know the course pretty well at this point. Like we all know the same routes and the same rocks, and the rock that we almost trip over, the tree limb that could take our eye out if we happen to stumble the wrong way. The rocks going up the hill and the extra little hill with the sand and, the potholes and this and that and the other thing. So bring us through the loop. Like where, like, did you have a walk strategy in certain spots, or what was maybe you could just bring us through the route with your thoughts attached to it, if you wouldn't mind sharing kind of the inside pro tips here.
Sure. I'm not sure if they're pro tips, but I mean, so the loop experience, it changes the day went into night into day, but generally speaking, with our aid station beforehand, so I come into the loop and I mentally know I need to get some hydration, get some food, get whatever. So I go into the start of the loop with everything already accomplished there, hit the bathroom if I need to. But really throughout, it was walking the first minute of every mile for as long as I could, and actually got me through mile 90. Now the jogging pace, the 9 minutes or so or 10 minutes of jogging pace was slowing down throughout the day. But I was able to stick with that longer than I ever had before, which was nice. On the course, you joke about all the rocks, and someone mentioned that little bridge, like the 1/2-inch cement bridge halfway down. Yeah, that got taller and taller every time.
Right? I thought it was tilted.
Yeah, it was horrible. But like Celeste said, like the social part, it gives me every few minutes it's a chance to see somebody. It's a shot in the arm. For someone who likes to run solo, it's a perfect balance of seeing somebody and having some quiet time for things. It was perfect. To reach the out and back, mentally I found the out part far harder than the return on that. So once I got to that turnaround time, it was kind of like a home stretch thing. I liked the hill. It was a chance for a walking break, a longer extended walking break. The view on top of the hill was a chance just to kind of catch my breath and start thinking with my, with the tent down below. Okay, now I need to get in the gel, need to change socks, whatever.
Gotcha.
The same thing went through my mind, loop after loop.
So just a quick question. When you reached the top of the hill and you're looking at the field, did you run across the field to the next little hill, or did you walk the whole thing, or did you run the whole thing?
Yeah, I think that sloping hill, I think like the first 2 times or so I ran across it. But then after that, I was like, it's not worth it. There's, 28 hours left. I might as well start walking it now. Plenty of time to nurse the muscles on that.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and I circled into the aid station and grabbed what I needed to go and sided people and moved on. So
gotcha.
It was pretty consistent. I tried deliberately this year to actually go out a little harder and stronger than in past years. I knew what it would take to get 124. I wanted more, so I needed to be a bit more aggressive on things. It worked out. Knock on wood, everything went really well.
Yeah. Now, did you have a like a caloric strategy as far as nutrition was concerned, or every like a hydration and so there's electrolytes, calories, consisting of the various components and electrolytes. What was your overall fueling strategy?
Yeah, I mean, so what's the saying? Like with every good plan, it works well until you're punched in the face. I think ultra running is the same thing. So I wouldn't. My plan was probably 200 to 400 calories per loop. not to bring food or liquid with me. I like running light, and the 4-mile loop is a perfect distance for me not to have to worry about carrying things. So I would replenish everything at my aid station or the race aid station.
And drink it and eat it right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Or take it with you or whatever.
Or to that first trash bin. So it worked. That worked for like the first maybe 9 or 10 hours, until dinner time or so on Saturday. Then, like with most people, stomachs start to get wonky. Got a little not terribly hungry on things. But until then, I was eating pretty regularly. I was drinking my Scratch and my UCAN. I was having a couple of power bars. The hot oatmeal from the aid station, from the main, Darby's was phenomenal. They whipped up a couple of veggie burgers since I follow a vegan diet throughout too. So that was great. But as the overnight kicked in, a friend who came to pace another friend brought some Dunkin' hash browns, which are always a good thing. Those were go-to for the cut too.
That sounds amazing.
And then overnight, it was a couple of Ensures. It was Coca-Cola. It was an iced latte that became a truly frozen iced latte by 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And that was about it. So by Sunday morning, then Darby brought out the fried dough cinnamon sugar balls.
Those are great.
Yeah, that was the best thing I ate all weekend.
Missed those.
Oh my God, Erica, you would have needed some alone time.
That probably would have perked me right up. I would have finished like.
They were so good.
Those things were.
They were good. I have to say, at one
Next
point,
time.
at some time after the daylight started, I was at that. I was at that window, just like, I don't know. Like in the line, like at the line at the mission, just like, they tasted good.
Yeah.
So it was best laid plans, and eventually it became whatever my stomach wanted, and it ended up wanting fried dough balls, Coca-Cola, and seltzer for 20 hours. So okay, that's what I fed it for 20 hours.
I mean, I support that life choice.
Yeah.
Same.
Very good. Yeah. Now, as far as I know, you had blister issues in the past and stuff. What was your? Now, this was not. I didn't hear like anybody really talking about like, blisters were knocking them out of the race. Like I don't think I heard.
Yeah.
It wasn't that kind of race, right?
I didn't hear that either. I had no blister issues, which I am shocked at. And you heard me complain after the cut and after Nacho. So I wonder if it's the heat. As we're all doing, you and I were talking, every run's an experiment, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if my feet fare better in the cold weather. No blisters. The only physical issue I had was my right knee started to get a little twingy, 50, 60 miles into it. But it would go away after a few minutes. Then some of my knee tendons started to ache a bit, but it was able to move through it, and it feels better already. So yeah, it was.
Gotcha.
Mechanically, I was shocked at how well it went.
You were a machine out there.
Yeah.
And it was, and positive the whole time too, which was fun.
It's our community, Celeste, right? You have to be positive for it. And the out and back isn't just a selfish social thing. It's such a uplifting way for us to compete back and forth for hours and to high five each other. There's not every ultra you get a chance to do that. Right. And I think even that little detail of the course brings this ultra to a different, it brings it to a tighter community perhaps than others. And
I think this one is magical.
Yeah.
There's something magical about Hamster Wheel. I mean, the kitchen,
could be evil magic. Just saying.
It's fine. I like evil, but it just, everything about it just kind of comes together. Yeah. And the community there is just so beautiful.
It is special. It's so special.
I will tell you the laughing. Just the laughing there, right?
Yep.
Like hysterical. Like my stomach hurt from laughing.
Yeah.
Because we all know you, Michael, but there may be some people out there who don't. So I just want to give a little bit of background on kind of your. I think that you bring with you a large social presence, and not in the like popular. No, I'm not saying this right, but not in the not in a social media type. Although you're certainly there. Michael is the founder and the evil genius behind Connecticut, our CT Trail Mixers Running Club, which is just a really cool club that is, just everything that you'd want a running club to be. Inclusive, encourages new runners, very social, but also, a place where you can go and learn stuff. So, all that and leads by example, as the, as the longtime founder and president of the club. So, that's quite a, you bring that with you, and it's so great to see that, there's a lot of ways to measure success in a race, but to have all that, to have all the fun and all the good things, and also happen to win the race in successive years in a greater manner is wonderful to watch. So, so you bring a lot of that. I look back to I've done what some people might consider to be a fair amount of trail running and a lot of cool things. And I start counting up the best things that I've done, like the Pemi Loop, Presidential Traverse,
Yes.
the One Day Connecticut AT, and a lot of those things are things that you organized. All I did was show up, so I want to, just publicly thank you for, what you've put out there to, to make my running better and that of the community around here. So, congratulations to you on this race and for, and thank you. So.
Well, thank you for the recognition there. And the one thing I would add to this race is it's always fun in any race to see how strong what I call the Connecticut contingent is. And I think hands down, this race, I see the biggest group of our Connecticut community team members show up to this one every year. So you're part of that, Celeste, you're part of that group. And it's just amazing. It's amazing to be there with our fellow nutmakers doing pretty wild things on the loop.
Gotcha. Yeah, it definitely is. But we got to watch out for Philly because, Matthew up in the corner there, he is the Philly contingent's making a move. So we have to watch what's going on there. So,
we love you, Matthew, but we will take you down.
I don't know. Judging by the race results, it was a move from behind. It never actually materialized.
That's
Michael,
right.
I was interested because I saw you just absolutely screaming by every time. And I hear everything went well on this race, but I'm always interested when I hear all right, you won a race. What was the worst part about it? What was the lowest low that you had during the race?
Yep.
The loop with Art.
So the lowest low was, I got right around mile 90 when I started taking longer walking breaks. I realized that's it. I have no more running in me. So I slowed down and it got really cold, just like some other people did. So actually, despite what I wanted to do, I went to my car to warm up for about 45 minutes or so. And I was like, there's no way you can win a race by giving up an hour and letting everyone else go. But I was so cold. And I sat in that car and I probably dozed off for about 20 minutes. And I stirred myself awake. I was like, okay, I threw on all these layers and I opened the car door. And that, 3 o'clock in the morning wall of cold air, it was like, I could stay in another hour and no one would ever know. And I got out the door, shivered my ass off, started walking again and got warm again. But that was the hardest part, was pushing past that cold wall when I opened the door.
Oh my God.
And we all walked through it. We all made it through and it got warm on Sunday eventually. But it was and it wasn't even it was terribly cold. It was like 28 or 29. It felt like 8. I don't know.
I think none of us have acclimated to that yet, right?
We had reporting previously on the show that it got down to 23.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was walking with Marcus, and him and I just look at each other. We're like, "Did you feel that?" It just viscerally got colder, and the rest of our lap, we were just shivering, and we needed extra layers. So that was the time it really did get so much colder. It was almost unbearable.
When I was shivering, I went to the car.
By that time, it just takes a lot more energy to do what, where our bodies aren't like in a normal condition at that point too. So that's also impacting us.
Yes.
So when you got back out into the cold, it was what, 4 or 5 in the morning?
It was probably like 3 or 3:30 in the morning. Yeah, because I think I hit the 100-mile mark, 7, like maybe around 6. I'm confused with the time change, but it was shortly after that I reached the 100-mile. It was still dark at that point, so probably 3 or 4.
So you hit it in are you thinking 19 or 20 hours? Is that right?
No, I was. I'll have to check.
My math is
it was like 21:39 or something.
Okay. Yeah, very good.
I hope you got a shout out here for your 100 miler here too.
I'll take another one now. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Making sure there's a few hundred miles and buckles on this phone line.
Yep. Erica got hers too.
Yes.
Nice job, Erica. You were so steady with the poles and the walking.
I'm gonna love
there we
it
go.
forever.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was. I have to say, it was. The fact that you went to the car, I just know that I could not have done that.
That would have been game over for me.
Oh, I decided it when I hit 80 miles, and because I started leaning I don't know how visible it was. I started feeling the effects of a lean at 50 miles.
Wow.
And that's bad, early. Like, what's with that? I just felt a slight twinge of that.
At 50.
But where you ended up, Art, was the worst lean I'd ever seen in any ultra.
Oh no, was it that bad?
It was bad.
No. I've seen worse, believe it or not.
I've seen worse, but
you weren't visibly leaning at 50. The second I saw the lean was when I said to you, Art, you're leaning.
Yeah. And I wanted just to deny that because I knew that was happening. And then just it got to be, I finally at the last lap or two, I used hiking poles just as a cane, just to kind of push me, to kind of like hold up that side of my body. It was bad, but
you persevered.
Yeah, it was. I have to say, I was. You know what? At the end of the day, I'm happy with it, and it's something that I got to deal with. I can't ignore that anymore because that was just. It's not going to get better, not going to get better. So, but it was. I have to say, there was a time at 80 miles, I think, really, where I was like, "Yep." If Rob, I was running with Rob Jeffers, and if he had like given me like, oh well, maybe you should quit because of your back, like I would have quit like in a second. Like if and he was just like, yeah, let's just do another one,
Yeah.
And then finally, I was like 80 miles in, and I was like, this is just the idea of walking 20 miles with the lean like that was like, no way. And then I was like, oh, it's just my mind fucking with my body going because of my mind. Like it's just playing with each other. And I just decided for some reason, I was like, okay, I'm going to just run, like, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But I was able to run a little bit. So,
Sometimes that little switch though, like you're switching, I'm going to use a different muscle, and it almost like clicks, or it's like a reset button, or
it is because it was like impossible as I was doing it. It was like that first run was literally like maybe 20 steps or something before I had to walk again. But then all of a sudden I found myself like annoyingly starting to run again. And I was like, this just hurts. I don't want to do this.
No, it's annoying at that point.
I had the opposite by the early 90s. I had shifted to like from almost all running to pretty much full-time walking. And after one loop, I could not get my body to run again. I was like, I'm gonna have to fast walk it in the rest of the next 10 hours. But again, I knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Fred Marolo talked about that once. He's like, don't stop running long enough where you forget to run. It always happens to me.
Yes.
I made it longer. I made it to a longer point this time in the past, which I'm happy with. Everyone who's done this for a while or done even marathon, ultra, whatever, there's always highs and lows, right? And I had a friend who was striving for her first 100 here at Hamster Wheel, and she got it. But around mile 80, she was at her low. She was like, I'm done. I want to get in my car. I want to go home. And me and her pacer were like, nope, you're going to get in the car. You're going to warm up. You're going to have some coffee. Give it half an hour. You've got time, and see how you feel. And sure enough,
is that Jen
low,
or?
It was Jen. Yep. So that low became a high, which we all have.
Yes.
And she got out there and she finished with a huge smile on her face all Sunday morning.
She did.
So
I'm so happy to see her.
It's just you have to remember, for every low, there's a high.
Yeah. No, that it doesn't always get worse.
As Art says, you're going to be so sad when it's over.
Yes.
But it's true.
Yes.
Like after a race like this, Monday is all the social media, right? And you're on and everybody's like got that high, and it's like, and you're just looking at everybody's accomplishments and stories, and it's phenomenal. And then like a couple days later, you're like, oh, I'm so sad. Like, I want to be there again. I want to, like, I miss everybody and I want to just enjoy it again, you know?
Yeah, that's what makes them so special. They look at that next weekend together with our friends somewhere in the woods running crazy loops. You know, that's what this is all about.
Gotcha. Hey, Michael, did you see any shooting, or did you or anybody else see any shooting stars?
Someone did.
I did.
I wish.
For the sake of a bad, for the sake of a bad joke, I saw Ryan Hanna, who would like one loop look like he was like staggering, and then next loop he's like sprinting by me. So he could be a shooting star, but nothing, nothing astronomical. No.
Yeah. Okay. He's a sweet baby angel. Ryan.
He had interesting pacing, Celeste. Yes.
Yes, he did. That is true. He was kind of like,
well,
like a
I
Super
think
Bowl.
it's the same thing you were saying, where like he'd hit a low and he was like walking, and like at one point he's like, I know at some point you guys are going to go to the car, and I'd rather have the social aspect and get these miles with people.
That's a good point.
Than when I'm alone, you know?
Yeah.
And he's actually very good at coming back from the pain. Like he'll hit that dark pain cave, and then the next time you see him, he's like flying, and you're like, wait,
no, he
time? Like,
he ran past me and said, I got to run when I'm feeling good. Like,
yeah, which is 100% true.
Like,
that's true.
Yeah, sorry, I'm feeling good. I gotta go.
Yeah, I'm proud of him. He did a good job.
Did anybody else see shooting stars or any nature? Anything? I heard coyotes and an owl. That's all I had for nature this weekend.
The coyotes were curdling. I mean, those were just.
Must have been in a zone or something, like headphones, music. I don't know, but I heard nothing, and it would have scared the shit out of me if I did hear it. So I'm kind of glad I didn't. But it's good.
I mean, some of those runners were kind of wildlife.
Yeah, I know that. One thing that really helped me on the comeback was in the middle of the night, a group came by, and I don't know, maybe Roman was even part of this group, but there were a group of guys walking and a female walking too. And they were just, I mean, in my mind, they were cranking it out. They were like, and there were like 5 or 6 of us. And it was like, it was everything I had to stay with them. And that focus on that was so good, you know.
Good.
And
Art, I mean, and Art, you and I told you afterwards, Art, the one loop that we shared most of, I was dragging mentally at that point, and just having someone to talk with and someone to just catch up with and that was a big turning point for me. So I'm sure we've all had those moments where, you know, to get us out of those lulls. If you hook up with the right person or the right friend on the loop, and it makes all the difference.
I had so many good conversations, Michael. I have to say, and I'm not going to tell everybody what we talked about, so don't even ask, okay? Because I'm not saying a word. I enjoyed our conversation so much, and I was able to make connections with people like that, like probably like three or 4 conversations like that, which is like unheard of. You know, it was really so it was I think that part of it was my favorite part, was that, like, I told my wife, you know, like, something's weird, like when you're out there and it like life just becomes apparent, you know, to me. You know, so good stuff. Well, I got to ask here, does anybody have, I'm trying to think, we talked about the cold, the shooting star, coyotes, the mud. I didn't talk about the mud in front of the Porta-John at the end.
I blamed you for that.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That was actually Erica.
That
okay.
I believe.
Well, you got a dump, and she missed the toilet.
Hey,
we
I
know
made
that
it to the porta potty.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to put a vote out there for all the listeners. So was it Cultra or was it On the Runs?
Why couldn't it have been both of us together?
Look at their name, people. Look at their name. There's hidden clues right in there. It's like, you don't need to be like a Scientologist to get this shit, okay?
Art, the best thing, I was number 2. My number was number 2 for this whole race, and I fucking laughed my ass off.
Who does number 2?
Oh, that is so funny.
One of Bill and Darby's kids just kept going, go number 2. I love you, number 2. And I was like, I love you too, kid. You're great. He made my freaking day. Oh my God. But
their son running in that
karma.
Hamster costume was amazing.
Oh yeah. That was a highlight. Yes.
Absolutely.
Running up and down with that boombox high-fiving. That was almost as exhilarating as seeing you every loop, Celeste. It was
okay.
it was
First,
wild.
and the comment you made on Facebook, I read that to my husband, and he's like, "Yep, yep, yep."
Very good.
The hamster wheel guy was great. The hamster was wonderful.
Yeah, that hamster was great. Yeah, but Bill and Darby are phenomenal.
They are.
That race, it's well organized. The kitchen is beyond. The merch is great. They collect like
Hell
for
yeah,
food
merch.
pantry. Yeah, I just took mine off. The food pantry that they collect for is phenomenal.
The bands,
really?
the music was excellent. They were playing, they were rocking out in the cold.
Where else
I was
do you
like, my
get
fingers
that?
would fall off.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
It was great.
Great.
Yeah. I guarantee every year we will be at that race again.
And this was a race, I think it's a special race for me again, because 2 years ago, in addition to a lot of personal things, the loss of my father, like the day that I got, basically found out before I even got to sleep when I got home that my father had died. And had Rob Jeffers came out and paced me again this time. So, to be able to reconnect with him again, because I don't see him that much, was special. But Celeste and I, last year, that was the one regret that I have about this year, is that even though we saw each other around the household, I didn't really get to spend much time on the trail except for a couple, snide remarks like fucking zombies. I'd walk by her, it was dark, she couldn't see who it was or anything, and I would just like say something like fucking zombies to her and her group.
We did steal your Vibra slap though.
You
and
did,
that
yes.
was highly
yours.
Yeah, that was mine.
That's hilarious.
That was ours.
For people who
like,
don't
where
know what
the
a
fuck
Vibra
did this come from?
A Vibra slap is the thing that's like the beginning of Sweet Emotion, or if you like the band Cake, the rattle that they use constantly. That's what a Vibra slam is. So.
Fun fact about Sweet Emotion in the Vibra slap there. On the fourth time he broke it.
Yes.
I bruised my palm hitting that thing.
Yeah. Sometimes love don't feel like it should. So.
Oh shit. No, that race this weekend was one of the best weekends of my life. And the idiots, we took our inappropriateness to a whole new level.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Oh.
I think I broke like 4 people.
That's quite impressive, because I remember at Notchview, I'm still kind of scarred from that. I'm still like, I don't know. I still question things.
Yeah,
so
fair.
Well, I'm so happy you guys like the hamster wheel, because this is in my neck of the woods, and anything that's going to get you guys up here, I'm happy about. And I just need to come down to your neck of the woods more often.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, that's, what you should do. You should come out and do one of Michael's races, the spring fling or the fall
Send
fling.
them to me. Send them to me.
Yeah,
I'll
the
check it
fall
out.
fling is coming up November 23rd. Yep, right in Central Connecticut.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
There you go.
It's fun too. It's a beautiful course. Lots of food. I'll be there volunteering.
Hey, thank you, Celeste.
Of course.
Erica was just saying she doesn't have like a big race till April, so
I was like, this is my off season, you guys.
Now you do.
All right. What off season?
Right.
I don't know how to taper. I have no chill.
Yeah.
Who needs chill?
So I think that Eric's probably going to just mention this in maybe an intro to the episode, but if not, this is an episode that's going to be jointly released between On the Runs and Cultra. So if you're a normal Cultra listener, make sure that you give On the Runs a listen. And if you're On the Runs listener,
Listen to Cultra. Come on, you guys.
Yeah, do that. It's a good idea. Allegedly. No, we have a lot of fun. So it was fun meeting a lot of people there. So and I have to mention this other thing. I need to publicly just apologize because I just had like a complete fuck up. I ordered new stickers, and they had a QR code that listed to my most recent episode on there. And just before I got the approvals to send through, and the QR code company told me that they were going out of business. So last minute, I went out and I just found another one, made a new QR code, dropped it into the design, hit approved, got them delivered. Everything was great. Get there. And then they worked. And then I get there and apparently there was a 30-day free trial on the QR code. So fuck them. If you have a sticker that has a QR code on it, just go to your thing, go to your podcast company, and you can just look up Culture Trail Running Podcast and find it. You don't need the QR code. So I'm not going to give in to terrorism. I'm not going to bargain with terrorists. So that's my thing. But that was funny because I found that out like 2 minutes before the race, or 15 minutes before the race started, which was pretty good. So anyway.
So does that mean that the QR code currently works? It has like 2 days left or something?
No. It doesn't.
Expired before the race started.
It expired like really like the day that the race started. It was I got it probably a month ago, and it had like a 30-day. They had it in their fine print somewhere that said
it was in a QR code.
Yeah, they wanted to pay, and there's all these companies that like Vistaprint and stuff like that will do free QR codes, and I would have done that, but I thought this was one of those, but they kind of had a little gotcha where it was a 30-day thing, so whatever. I don't want to spend our Patreon. I value the Patreon money, and I'd rather give it to Connecticut Forest and Parks.
Especially with what's going on in Connecticut right now with all the forest fires we have going on.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hey, my backyard is still on fire.
Is that still on fire, Celeste?
They're saying it's going to take 30 days to get it out. Still. But Lamentation Mountain,
And today's
election day. And I
don't
know how long till, because it's the New England Trail.
Where the cut goes through.
And I think 120 acres has been destroyed already or something like that.
No.
We've had the National Guard here. We've had it's been rough. So Connecticut Forest and Park is going to need, donations, probably help with the trails, And that's just the one in Berlin. There's, I think, like 10 active fires going on or something ridiculous like that in our forests.
And tomorrow's like a red flag, warmer day, higher winds. Keeping our fingers crossed for tomorrow's too. So,
and it's important to remember if we're going to be out on the trails and doing stuff to be cognizant, because the one that started in Berlin where a firefighter died and multiple were hurt, and obviously this whole forest mountain destroyed, was started because someone didn't put out a campfire, is what they believe completely. Wow. Yeah. So, we really have to be responsible out there. And that's my soapbox. You're welcome.
There you go, Celeste. You did it very well.
Well said.
Yeah. Enough said. So, we're always going to be, as a community, we're going to be looking for ways to help with that end goal. So, hopefully stay tuned for some of that. So, all right. Any closing arguments there?
Nope.
Nothing much for me, except thank you for suggesting we do this joint episode. I think it's super fun. It was really nice to get to meet some people like Matthew and Michael. I think you guys are amazing runners, and even Jen, and who else am I missing? Marcus. I love Marcus, and
everybody loves Marcus.
Roman. Oh, Roman. He's got so much potential.
He's such a sweet kid.
He's gonna use it as a learning experience, and he's gonna come back and just haul.
I hope he knows now that he's part of the community that he can lean on us, and we'll all help him. And
absolutely,
And I'm sorry that I didn't have Jessica Rakusin, the first female finisher in the 30 hours. We kind of put this together really quickly. I'm still in Ultra Brain. I did some searching to try to find her, and I wasn't able to deliver on that. So so hopefully no hurt feelings there, but I would have liked to hear. Yeah. So
instead of getting first female, you got I think I was like DFL female. So I'll take that.
There you go.
Also the dead fucking hottest. So
stop. Oh, stop. You're too kind. Yeah, right. I was like a blubbering mess by the end of that thing.
Listen, we've all been there.
But thank you guys for being my village. You guys are fantastic. And it's just so nice to get to see you guys whenever I get to, whenever I can.
I was going to do a Michael Jackson Thriller finish, Like I was going to try to do that because I was like such a zombie. I kind of did a little bit of thing like that, or in my mind I did.
My God.
I don't know if that was actually what happened, but it was pretty good. So, but thank you guys, and thanks to all of our guests who came on tonight. Michael, especially, congratulations to you.
Yes.
And
Matthew, you need to come over again. Like you can't stay in Philly, okay?
Oh, I'm gonna stay in Philly, but I'm gonna come up for more stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I mean. It's okay to live in Philly. You must visit.
Celeste, he actually is going to have to come to Connecticut because Fred Morello is instituting a lawsuit against him for appropriating the 7-Eleven Slurpee run in Philly, which he stole from Jimmy, and that was copyrighted shit.
I did,
so.
yeah. Jimmy said he's going to come down here and tell me what's what. So
that's right. So we'll see if he can figure that out. Which, just saying,
I'll
we'll
keep
see how
my
that
eye on
works
the
out.
mailbox for the cease and desist letter.
Yes. So, all
I
right.
love the drama.
So thank you to all of our listeners out there. If you guys made it this far, of course, seek professional help. And we will see you all in a mile
and a half.
All right. All right. So we'll have to see which Cultra hat prevails here tonight. And I could ask the Magic 8 Ball, but
I don't ask it. I can't handle the stress.
I know. I can't either. I haven't even looked.
No.
But
this has been a lovely distraction.
It has.
Really has.
I'm sorry to shit all over it right now.
So. It's better Erica shit all over the ground outside the...
Apparently I did. According to everybody. I don't know.
So I have a question about Hamster Wheel that I was
Erica
meaning
was
to
too
ask.
busy running. What, Matt?
So does it always take place on the same weekend as daylight savings, or is this just?
Yes.
It has
the
every
first
year.
weekend in November, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It has for the last, how long? 4 years? 3 years? 4 years?
Really
At
is
least
the
3.
dumbest
I've been
race
doing
out
it for
there.
3, so
Man, that made it so much harder. I feel like.
Yep. So the first year that I did it was 2022, and it was I think it was like a 70-degree day, and it got into like the 50s at night, and I thought it was nice. But then the past few years, it's supposed to be cold, so it's like I don't know. It's such a weird swing with weather, and but
November races are always like that. You never know what to get.
That's where I actually met the On the Runs peeps.
Mm-hmm.
Was that Hamster
Well,
Wheel?
I knew you.
No, we
from,
met you at
Anchor
ADU.
Down. Yeah.
Oh,
But
that's
then we
true.
saw you
Yeah, but we
again.
became friends.
Yes.
At Hamster Wheel.
Yes.
Yeah, because we shared miles at Hamster Wheel.
Uh-oh.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Sorry I sucked. I couldn't get more than 90 seconds of free time without my kids, who are 3-year-old twins, by the way. And I missed the beginning because my Zoom wasn't updated or whatever, but I'm going to get going soon. I did write something funny, though. I want to share this with you. So, on my podcast, I always open it up with an intro. The music plays and I do a big intro, right? So this is what I wrote for you guys. What episode number was this, by the way?
This was 313.
313. Okay. So the way I remember your episode typically goes, you'll have like your guests come on before and they'll go, hey, this is episode 313 of the Cultural Trail Running Podcast, correct? They typically that always happens.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So I remember Erica did that. I remember Maurice did that. Maurice's episode was actually one of my favorites because I felt like Art and Maurice connected on another level about sobriety and drugs and everything.
That was a beautiful episode.
That was an amazing episode. But I wrote this intro, right? So here it goes. What's up, everybody? What number again? 356? 313. What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 313 of the Cultra Trail Running Podcast. It was a crazy week at the Hamster Wheel Marathon in New Boston, New Hampshire. Erica might still be crying. Tara's still crop dusting everywhere. Art is leaning at 42 degrees to his right, and Celeste is offering to show her boobs to anyone who's going through an emotional breakdown, and you're going to hear all about it right here, right now, on the On the Runs podcast, Cultural Trail Running Podcast Collab, coming up next. And that's what I
and
had.
Don't forget to stretch. I'll have to put that in there because
No, you just did it.
You just did it.
It's still rolling,
We're
baby.
still
That's
rolling.
it. Right there.
It's still rolling. That is
Okay,
yeah,
perfect then. We'll just leave it.
See, that's the difference right there. That's some
Wait, so
graduate
can my
level
boobs
shit.
take credit for Erica finishing?
I did tell them, I'm like, Celeste gave me a hug when I was crying. And you know what she did, or she offered to do, was show me your tits.
But tell them how you responded.
And I go, ask Tara. She knows. Because that's how, like, you literally met for like 3 minutes. And then you're like, look at my tattoo. Wah! And like whipped them out.
They're dragons.
No, bat tits. No, I know they're dragons. They're
I love Rob.
You got a nice rack. Might as well show them off.
Right, though?
Mm-hmm. So